Lindsey Graham struggles to find support for Putin assassination idea. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham faced backlash last week for comments made on Twitter, in which he appeared to suggest that Russian President Vladimir Putin should be assassinated. On March 3, Graham asked, "Is there a Brutus in Russia? Is there a more successful Colonel Stauffenberg in the Russian military?" He then suggested that the only way the conflict between Russia, Ukraine, and potentially the West ends is for somebody in Russia to take this guy out. "You would be doing your country, and the world, a great service," he added. Graham faced almost immediate backlash for the comments from Republicans and Democrats alike. While the South Carolina senator clarified in a follow-up tweet that the U.S. military should not be the ones to take the life of the Russian president, and that the only people who can fix this are the Russian people, his comments appear to have spooked legislators in his party and even the White House. Kill Putin? Republicans not on board. Graham's call has been echoed by few among his party, though was supported by Fox News anchor Sean Hannity, who suggested last week that one way to solve the Ukraine crisis was to cut the head of the snake off, and you kill the snake, and right now, the snake is Vladimir Putin. Hannity also floated the idea of NATO forces bombing Russia's convoys on the edges of Ukraine. Fellow Republican Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, however, appeared to reject the idea, though stopped short of criticizing his colleague for the comments. CNN's Jake Tapper asked Rubio on State of the Union last week if he agreed with Graham's idea. Rubio insisted that assassinating Putin is not the official policy of the United States and that no one's talking about the U.S. doing it. He also added, however, that Graham would have to answer for what he meant by that. Kill Putin? White House rejects idea. On Friday, the White House scrambled to end talk of the assassination of the Russian president, with Press Secretary Jen Psaki insisting it is not the position of the United States government and certainly not a statement you'd hear come from the mouths of anybody working in this administration. On Graham's recent suggestion that a diplomatic solution with Russia will never be possible for as long as Putin is in power, Psaki said that Putin has the ability to de-escalate. "We have left the door open for months now to be engaged through de-escalation," she added, before repeating that the United States government is not advocating for killing the leader of a foreign country or regime change. UK calls for Putin to be tried for war crimes. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson also rejected calls for the assassination of Putin. When asked for comment, Johnson's spokesman told the press that the British government opposes calls for assassination but stands with the Ukrainian people in demanding the immediate end to the Russian invasion. "We've said before that Putin must be held to account in front of an international court for the horrific act he's committed." Senator Lindsey Graham's call for a plot to kill the Russian president is unacceptable and outrageous, Russian ambassador to the U.S. said. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham pleaded on Thursday for somebody in Russia to step up to the plate and assassinate President Vladimir Putin, and who would thus do the country and the world a great service. The Russian ambassador to Washington has rebuked the remarks, calling them unacceptable and outrageous. The South Carolina senator advocated assassinating Putin during an appearance on Fox News, and cited historic examples of plots to kill famous political leaders, including Julius Caesar and Adolf Hitler. "Is there a Brutus in Russia? Is there a more successful Colonel Stauffenberg in the Russian military?" Graham inquired. "The only way this ends, my friend, is for somebody in Russia to." Commenting on the remarks, Russian ambassador Anatoly Antonov called them unacceptable and outrageous. He said it showed that Russophobia and hatred in the United States towards Russia had gone off scale and asserted that Graham was de facto advocating an act of terrorism to further Washington's political goals. Moscow was fearful for the future of the American nation, considering that people like the senator are at its helm, the Russian diplomat added. Attempts to kill foreign leaders are not unheard of in U.S. foreign policy. Cuba's revolutionary leader Fidel Castro was arguably the most famous example. He was targeted by multiple plots hatched by the CIA, as revealed by the Church Committee in the 1970s. A more recent example was Libya's Muammar Gaddafi. He was personally targeted by NATO airstrikes during the bloc's 2011 air campaign to destroy the country's military and secure a victory for anti-government forces. He was ultimately captured by the rebels after his fleeing motorcade was hit by an airstrike, and was summarily executed. Russia's president should be tried by an international court for his horrific acts, instead, UK Prime Minister believes. Britain's Prime Minister does not support the idea of trying to kill Russian President Vladimir Putin, a spokesperson for Boris Johnson said on Friday. Asked by reporters whether he agrees with U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, who called for somebody in Russia to assassinate the country's leader, the spokesperson firmly rejected the idea. No. We stand with the Ukrainian people in demanding the immediate end to the Russian invasion, the spokesperson stated. We have said before that Putin must be held to account before an international court for the horrific acts he has committed. The bizarre call was issued by the top senator on Wednesday, with Graham invoking the assassination of Roman dictator Julius Caesar and the botched plot to kill Nazi German leader Adolf Hitler as examples of what should be done in his opinion. Is there a Brutus in Russia? Is there a more successful Colonel Stauffenberg in the Russian military? Graham asked. The only way this ends is for somebody in Russia to take this guy out. You would be doing your country, and the world, a great service. The open call for the assassination of the Russian president provoked fury in Moscow, with Russia's embassy in the U.S. strongly condemning such statements, as well as demanding Washington to hold the official accountable for his remarks. The degree of Russophobia and hatred towards Russia is going through the roof in the United States. It is unbelievable that a senator from a country that preaches its moral values as a guiding light for all of mankind could allow himself call for terrorism as a means to achieve Washington's goals on the international stage, Russia's ambassador in the U.S. Anatoly Antonov said. The hasty exchange came amid the Russian offensive in neighboring Ukraine, launched by Moscow last week. Explaining the decision to begin the large-scale military operation, Russia's president said it was the only option left to protect the breakaway republics of Donetsk and Lugansk in Ukraine's east. He also set out the goals of demilitarizing and denazifying the neighboring country. Kiev said the attack was unprovoked, insisting it had not been seeking to retake Donetsk and Lugansk by force. The two republics split from Kiev back in 2014 in the aftermath of the Maidan coup, which ousted Ukraine's government.